First one I just got in, which I'm very pleased to have, is what is called in the business as the nipple poster. It's a 1947 movie poster from a film noir, I Love Trouble, in which in the 40s the censorship was still going strong, and as you can see, the right breast of Miss Blair is visible on this poster, which is quite...
Contrary to the Hays Code.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one.
But how much? Why is this one special? Or why
It's
is this
just this. We talked earlier about what makes a poster desirable, and this is an example because it's an odd poster. It has the image itself is quite striking. It's a typical film noir composition. So it's film noir posters always are quite popular because of the imagery. So.
And folded.
And folded, of course.
Like you explained before.
And then.
But really, since the 90s, that somebody thought, hey, shouldn't we put these things?
I'm not quite sure how that happened, but it has something, no doubt, something to do with the technology which has happened, and how to distribute posters and how to get them off the press.
Right.
This is another film noir, but this is a German poster which I quite like. It's Human Desire. Just got it in as well. It's a very typical 40s, 50s kind of German style, which is really quite bold, colorful, which I like very much.
So this is from Fritz Lang's American period?
Yeah, that's a Fritz Lang movie, yeah. And then something from the 30s. I really like James Cagney.
Oh yeah.
And this is one of the posters which is a very nice headshot from him. It's from a 1936 movie, which is kind of a romantic gangster movie.
Oh, I've not seen this one.
The Great Guy. It's the same combination as with May Clark, which is used in the more well-known hard-boiled crime movie.
Right.
So that's one.
So this is after his famous gangster movies for the Warner Brothers.
And this is still Warner Brothers, but the real strong crime movies were at its peak, and then they slowly developed other formats based on the fact that the audience liked the crime movies, but developed in their own taste to do something more offbeat. It's not really offbeat, but this is why horror movies are very attractive. There's a lot of one of the biggest areas of collecting. I think it's 50s horror and science fiction posters. I'm Married to a Werewolf, and I really like the claw going down with the blood, so the vertical imagery.
Also, I haven't asked you this before, but are there famous designers? Of course, everybody knows Saul Bass. For his...
Yeah, well, Saul Bass, something right here. It's kind of a underdeveloped area, because a lot of the US posters were made through art departments, and a lot of the posters are anonymous. There's a you now see that people are getting more into research to find out who was responsible for what kind of. This is typical Saul Bass. It's a bit beat up, so I think I'll have to have this one restored. It's one of his more famous posters.
And because of the damage to this poster, how much does that mean in
value-wise? It decreased quite enormously, I think. Usually these kind of posters could fetch 1,500, but in this state they don't make that. So if I have it restored, and it looks better on linen, you get a better price. But it's, you know, it's always a question: what do I restore? Which poster do I leave as it is? Let's see if I can see that.
So, but you do not only collect posters, also photographs and logo cards.
Yeah, I really like stills. That's why, because you can actually all the stills are basically used for continuity purposes in the first place, and then they're sent to ad agencies to find shots. So you can kind of see the whole movie in pictures, basically. That's what I like. And also this is going to be tricky. This is a French poster. This is a regular big size for a French poster. Again, of my favorite Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger for operetta movie O Rosalinda.
Wow.
And getting back to design, French and Italian posters, you can often see the design. And this one is by Jean Machi, which is
really vivid colors.
yeah. Problem with French posters and Italians as well is because of the larger size and because the paper is often rather brittle.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful not to
damage it while you
damage it
fold
just
it.
by just by looking at it, basically. So that's.
But these French or Italian posters, are they approved by the original studios, or are those regional companies or divisions of, let's say, Warner Brothers or Universal?
No, usually they're given the right to make a movie poster, to design a movie poster or other advertising stuff, but it's usually based on the same source material of where the posters are made from. Usually they're sent by an ad agency and the designer, I don't know what this is.
But isn't that also the problem with the Polish posters, that they didn't have any publicity material, so they just made up what they thought were the images? And
yeah, well, it's I'm not sure if it's a problem. It makes quite different imagery because they decided to focus in on the artistic possibilities of making a poster, which is in Poland was a real profession.
right.
They made posters of all kinds of stuff, and basically they were state. They worked for the state basically, so they didn't work for private enterprises. So they were more flexible in making the design, and they did that. This is a Dutch poster for another film noir movie, Smash Up.
Rita Hayward.
No, this is Susan Hayward,
Oh, okay.
another redhead, one of my favorite actresses. So this is made in Haarlem. And it's anonymous, so I don't know who designed it. I'm sorry. Yep.
But the Dutch posters sometimes also mention the cinema where it's playing. Like, for example, the one on the wall says Tuschinski.
Yeah, but that's been added. That's really just a banner on top of it.
Okay.
In Belgian and Italian smaller posters, there's always room for a cinema to write their own information on. You also have that. I'll try to find the poster, but this is a poster which is very dear to my heart because it's not only for my favorite director Miki Takashi, but also because I got it in Tokyo when we were on holiday. It's for Zebraman 2, and we got this from the owner of the pizza place where we were having dinner, and he had these posters hanging in his pizzeria, which what I found very good selling point. And he was a friend of the actor who played Zebraman.
Okay.
And in the same building and a few floors up, Mika used to do a lot of sound recording.
Right.
And it was opposite the Tokyo Broadcasting Corporation, so that's
So it's a small,
very nice free poster.
but a small chance that you will actually sell this poster.
There's probably no chance I will sell this poster. Now we get to one of my other favorites, Martin Scorsese. And this is the
Oh, nice.
special taxi driver restricted poster, which makes it a bit more rare than other.
Why is it restricted? What's so restricted?
Because they thought it not to be proper for everybody to see it, basically. So censorship. It was a bit too brutal for them, I guess.
Too downbeat, maybe.
Yeah, too much violence and blood and stuff and dope and hookers and all that kind of stuff.
But if you were to buy this one, or how much would this
This will
cost?
set you back a few $100s.
And are you willing to sell this one?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
But, well, I'm now showing you posters basically of my, which are basically my private collection, which I really don't want to sell.
Okay.
This is I like it very much. It's a Spanish poster for Touch of Evil by Orson Welles
Okay.
with Charlton Heston, which has very different art than the regular posters.
Yeah, and also aside from his name and his face, you don't really. There's not much
No.
touch of evil about it, right?
Well, there's a lot of, a lot of disturbance around, so it's very colorful, but it's a bit of, yeah.
Did you buy Charlton Heston as a Mexican?
Yeah, I did. Of course I did. It's an Orson Welles movie. I have another one for Taxi Driver somewhere here. It's called it's more famous and more desirable. It's the so-called blue poster.
Oh,
It's
right.
this one. This is really nice. Real iconic shot.
And-
Yellow cab.
How much would a poster like this cost?
Same ballpark.
But-
I actually bought another one like this. I don't have it in yet, so I have one for sale for this one.
But this is drawn, right? This is not a picture, or is it drawn from a picture?
Yes, it's drawn. It's from, I forgot his name. It's a French sounding name, the designer. I should know it, but somehow the name has slipped my mind. Which, another Orson Welles, but not for sale, of course. Macbeth.
Wow. But are you of the opinion that Citizen Kane was his best work and then everything was downhill, or are you more interested in his
no, listen.
smaller roles? Or?
I must say Citizen Kane is,
Is what?
it is a fantastic, it's just a great movie, but he has made some other really great movies. I really like Touch of Evil. I really like Chimes at Midnight, Shakespeare movie. This is another Michael Powell.
Third Man.
This is
Oh,
Tales
yeah.
of Hoffman,
Nice.
which is really nice.
She was a real ballerina, right? Until she.
You mean
Moira?
Moira Shearer? Yeah. Well, yeah.
And then she was rejected by the ballet circuit? Or
Well, it was more that she had the feeling that by making the Red Shoes and Tales of Hoffman, she wasn't taken seriously as a classical ballet dancer.
Right.
I'm not sure if that was also the opinion of the ballet groups, but then she was a real eye catcher on screen. This is one of my favorite actresses, Ida Lupino. It's a 30s movie. Just a fun poster.
Fight for Your Lady.
Fight for the Lady. And this is a very typical poster for RKO, the studio.
Why is that?
By the use of typography and the use of colors, they're very vibrant, they're very, well, let's say jolly. Really. Warner Brothers had a lot of posters which were more two or three colors, more straight. An example is a re-release
But are
for
most
another James
posters
Cagney movie. Somewhere here.
are most posters on paper or on different material, like linen or something? Or?
We call all movie posters paper, but there's different grades of paper. You have your regular flat, thinner paper like this. This is a typical Warner Brothers poster. It's a re-release.
What do you mean typical by the way the words are?
Same thing. If you put them together, you can see definite difference in style of typography.
Right.
And this is much more serious, less playful than the RKO one.
Right.
What do we have? Sometimes I like. This is an old Western movie, which I really like, The Plainsman by Cecil B. DeMille. What I like about this one is that Gene Arthur and Gary Cooper seem to have the same mouth and the same lipstick as well, which I find very funny.
Right.
And in first you saw a lot of red lips with men, I must say.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
in posters, I mean. I'm not sure that they were walking on the street like that.
Okay.
So. Most of my posters I've linen backed, and I'm done by a Canadian guy, Dario. He's done very nice work.
And what do you mean by linen back?
Well, as you can see, the poster is put on linen. It is stretched and it's been cleaned and it's been de-acidified to get all the nasty acids from the paper that originated from the wood pulp.
So that's just to preserve it.
That's to preserve it, and I think that especially with maybe not this kind of posters, that the colors getting through more than your regular poster.
After the process?
After the process. If you compare this, for example, with the one I showed you first. This is a bit whitish, nice colors, but I'm pretty sure that if I would put this on linen, that the yellows and the reds would come out much more vibrantly than they're now.
Okay.
So I'm not too worried about linen backing. Oh, this is a nice poster. It's a Polish poster for a Dutch movie with Bert Haanstra.
Oh, nice.
Alleman, it's called. And this Polish designer thought, well, I need to make it Dutch, so he did. Really nice.
But the Polish tradition, do they still make those posters in that way?
No, yeah, you use the Polish and Czech posters as well. I have another one. I just walk upstairs and I'll get it for you.
Sure.
This is a Czech poster. Czech poster for Pierrot Le Fou, Godard, Belmondo. That's really distinctive style as well. And now in the global era of movie making and movie selling, you find that also these kind of posters are getting more and more the same idea anyway. What do I like? Oh, I can show you two different approaches of the same movie. Well, this is a more modern poster. Well, modern, it's a typical 70s poster or 60s poster.
Oh, nice.
Late 60s. This is a real designer poster.
Is this one for sale or?
Yeah, this one's for sale. Yeah.
How much?
$750.
750 or
Yes.
7? Okay. Is that even Michael Caine or?
It is Michael Caine.
That's a pretty nice design.
Yeah.
And why is this typically 70s? Because
the more newer collectors who are coming up now are all have the same kind of nostalgic feelings, of course. So they come back to the movies they like. So there's a bit of an upsurge in desirability for 60s and 70s posters.
Right.
Steven Spielberg Jaws posters, for example, sell very well. Those kind of. And nowadays also movies from the 90s. Of course, they are not that rare at the moment, so prices are still low.
Yeah.
This is a nice one, not typical B science fiction poster, where the posters are often much more exciting than the actual movie.
What, from which year is this one?
This is from 1958. Well, these are all one sheets, your main size, and here I have some half sheets. Showing this one later. This one is Alfred Hitchcock, Rope. This is a typical half sheet. There's a bit of damage here, but very nice poster.
And how much would something like this cost?
Also a few $100s, or euros, preferably.
And then, just because it's a Hitchcock poster?
Because it's a Hitchcock poster and because it's a more interesting title, because it's the famous single shot where there's only very long shots.
Right.
This is a nice one from like Zen, pinky. And then we go to the.
Wait, was there a Rosemary's Baby? I see.
No, I have a Rosemary's Baby if you want to see that, but it's not in this pile.
It's a different Rosemary.
Yeah, it's a German Rosemary. This is a very special poster to me. It's a Rocket Ship XM, half sheet.
Wow.
And why it's special to me is because this one used to be in the collection of Johnny Ramone.
Oh, really?
And there was this large sale of when he had
passed away.
died, his wife had put on
So you got
posters for
this
sale.
from a fair or on the internet?
From an
or-
auction, an internet auction.
Okay.
Well, there's some other nice ones here, I think. Yeah, another favorite of mine, which I used to watch a lot. Sherlock Holmes with Nigel Bruce and Bethel Redbone. This one I really like.
Nice. But is it
I'm
also
not-
customary
there should be a Blue
for...
Dahlia here, yeah, it's a Raymond Chandler film noir. This was very, very rough shape when I got it, and it's been restored.
Yeah, so what's different?
Well, it was all ragged and torn, especially the edges. So that has been restored. And there's some damage in the folds, because this one was folded in twice. You can see that here and here. And it's been touched up with paint, you can see it here. So that decreases value, of course. But again, it's such a nice poster.
And
I really don't mind that it's has been done.
Yeah, this is just one of the few movies that Veronica Lake and Ellen Ladd did together, right?
Yeah. If you want to post, for example, for the earlier hit, This Gun for Hire, that will set you back another 8,000 to start with, something like that.
But the same size?
Another one sheet. Well, these kind of posters are not that expensive. You can buy them just for, I think.
But these posters also are in your collection because you get them like a bargain deal that you get them.
No, I don't. Especially the posters of my favorites are not bargain deals. I just pay the regular price for it.
I mean the ones that you also have. You were just saying, oh, these ones aren't so expensive, or
Yeah. Well,
they come along with the package, and that's what I mean.
sometimes these ones I've bought on a fair in Paris last September. from an American dealer.
Wow.
Only 25 euros, which I think is still. It's really nice with Dennis Hopper.
But is this an original one?
Yes, yeah.
For 25 euros?
All my posters are originals. Yeah, but about 4. So
Okay.
4 posters for 100. So fairs are often nice places to buy posters from. And these are the posters that you did not expect to buy in the first place, so it's always nice. Let's see.
Do you also have to preserve them in a certain way, like no exposure to...
Well, you should try to keep them out of direct sunlight.
Okay.
But on the other hand, I want to display my posters, so that's why I have this setup that I can change the posters very quickly.
Right.
So that they don't hang on the walls for months. And I think that's okay. And you should keep them away from water, of course. These are examples from Italian photobustas, which are made in sets. This is the re-release. This is the second issue in Italy. And this is an example of the first release.
But what do you mean in sets, like sets of 3 or sets of...
That depends. Italian photobustas, usually they have 8 from this size and 2 which is double this one.
Okay.
But sometimes you find sets with 10 and 2 or sometimes 6. It depends really.
But even now with modern movies, like Oblivion is now in theaters, do they also...
An Italian one for The Godfather.
Oh, nice. But the modern movies, are they also packaged in several sets of lobby cards?
I don't think so, but I really have not tried to sell any, to buy any, so I'm really not sure. But I think with modern movies that still make a lot of duo folios and quattro folios, and they make locandinas, which are the well, I can find you one. North by Northwest, Italian.
Ah, the famous kiss.
Yep. Well, then you have your Japanese. This is your standard Japanese size. It's a B2, they call it, because that's the paper size. This is Fearless Vampire Killers from Roman Polanski, which I really like the design of.
And how much is something like this?
Well,
cost?
150, something like that. Should be a good price, depending on condition.
That's not even as much as I thought it would be.
No, that's what I said earlier, you know, a lot of these posters are... That's what I thought that when I started out as well, that it would cost me so much money, but if you have an eye for it and you look very well, you can find lots of nice things for not that much of money. If you want to shell out money for a piece of old advertising paper, of course.
Right.
That's another... Like I said earlier, we don't do that here in the Netherlands.
Yeah, you're really dependent on foreign markets for these kinds of...
Yeah, if I like to sell, if I like to sell stuff, I really need international trade. And the few odd bits I sell here in the gallery are posters I sell to tourists. I sell a lot of Spanish and Italian people who pass by and like to buy a poster as some kind of remembrance for their stay and because they like the imagery. And sometimes people who live in the area and just into the area. It's a few nice ones here as well. Some more. I just showed you the Spanish Touch of Evil. This is the US half sheet.
Oh wow.
So that's the... Well, they used the more obvious elements of the movie to promote it.
And how much would this set you back?
Well, this one will around 500 mark, something like that.
Even for your friend Bas, who's filming this?
Well, even for my friend Bas, this one's not for sale because it's my private collection again.
Right.
That's a bit of a, you know, another one from my private collection, another favorite actor, John Garfield,
Oh wow.
who is getting less and less pricey, because obviously the guys who collected John Garfield's seem to have died or have lost interest, because prices of Garfield material is decreasing at the moment.
Okay. So more than say Cagney or.
Yeah, yeah, he was also a bit of an odd actor. Here's another actor I like very much, John Hodiak. It's a very nice poster. This is another $300, $400, $500 poster.
And something I haven't even asked yet. Have you also seen all these films?
Yeah.
Everyone?
Not everyone, because when I buy packages, there are titles that I haven't seen. But if I buy individual posters, they are usually posters I have already saw, have some kind of connection with.
Right.
Or the design must be that impressive that I want to buy for that, and then I make sure that I see it very quickly, like this one. I had not seen this movie until I got the poster. Not a typical 50s science fiction show. Really nice.
What kind of thing is that? I mean, the tail belongs to?
A killer shrew. An enormous shrew. I must say the tail looks better on this poster than in the movie. But,
Do you also collect something else besides movie posters? Or?
I have a few other posters, but a few music posters.
Oh, but I mean other things.
Other
like-
things, no. I stick to paper basically. I don't need figurines or other stuff. I don't need ceramics or plates. Or sometimes I have funny things. For example, I don't think I can find it now, but I had a mask, a bird mask that they made for the birds. Hitchcock as a distribution gimmick. But that is paper as well. These ones are very nice. These are special shots, stills, made for a publicity campaign in magazines for Casino Royale from 1967. The
Okay.
James Bond spoof poster.
Yeah.
And this is Peter Sellers in makeup. These shots are made by Terry O'Neill, which was a famous photographer from the 60s, married to Faye Dunaway. And then you see slowly how he gets into Hitler with his co-star Ursula Andress. And then they change to Toulouse-Lautrec and Napoleon.
But these are more candid photos, or are they also part of the marketing department?
Yeah, they were part of the marketing, but not for your regular advertising in movies, in cinemas, but for Casino Royale is an example of a movie which was very much publicized through other media, through magazines. Playboy, they had a spread about the movie and all the glossies. So they really tried to tap into the hip 60s market of fashion and all that kind of stuff. They have about 50 models in it. And lots of nice stills with all kinds of different costumes. Another one of my favorites, this is an example, it's a lobby card, which I really like.
So with lobby cards, do you just buy a bunch at one time, like say
No, that
50 or?
They are made in sets of 8.
Okay.
So, and this is one of my favorites, W.C. Fields, which is probably not known to most people nowadays, but
I've never seen it before.
I've never seen,
No.
and you should see some movies. I could recommend The Bank Dig to start with, that is a good one. And
The
this
what?
is a
The
very nice
Bandit?
one. The Bank Dig.
The Bank Dig.
And this one, Never Give a Sucker an Even Break, is very good as well, so
Okay.
you should go for that one.
And are you, Wim, are you also, because you know so much about not just film posters, but also films from these different times, are you consulted by, let's say, film museum or?
No, not really. Sometimes I give advice to a poster auction house here in Holland, because they are not specialized in movie posters, so sometimes I appraise them for the catalog.
Okay.
I do. This is so-called Japanese speed, which is a combination of a flyer and a poster, basically. So this is the front for Saga or Vagabond, and this is the back with all the information on it
Okay.
in Japanese. So that's a nice example
These
of
were just meant for in the lobby in the.
yeah. If you go, as luck would have it, I could go to Tokyo a few years ago, and what you now have is not speed, but they call chirashis, flyers. They're about this size, and you can see in the cinemas there are loads of them. So everything which is on sale on the internet is probably just ripped from the cinemas over there. I got a few as well. What can I show you? There's so much I can. Let's see. Let's pick another.
And all these photographs of Marnie were for your latest.
For my latest exhibit, and because Marnie is a kleptomaniac, as you may well know, and that's the reason why she is considered to be a psychotic woman in the book by Kirla Jeunesse. And what I like about the stills, in contrast to the movie posters, which are quite boring, I think, is that you can see the persona of Marnie, how she is in the movie. Right. She's never relaxed. She's always just like a dog hit with a stick. You know, it's just,
she's staring in a very peculiar.
Either she's furtive, or she's passive aggressive, or she's just frightened. But she's never relaxed and happy, basically.
So once you have an exhibition, does it always revolve around a certain theme?
Yeah, I try to do that, and then I can delve into some more depth to satisfy my collection habits as well. So I buy posters which I would not consider any other way, but because I do the exhibits, I do more research and into other kind of stuff which I usually don't have. Basically, right. That's what I do. There's Ellen.
Okay, well, thanks a lot.
Okay.
For showing